In my readings in the book of Genesis, I had never noticed before the covenant that Jacob made with God after his altar experience. And that covenant simply was this. He says, I will give to God 10% of everything that I earn. And of course, we know the story, how that he continues on east and he comes to the land of his mother. And of course, he meets Laban. Laban was the brother of Rebekah and a rather interesting character. You know the story how that Jacob met Rachel and fell in love with her and told Laban, he said, I'll work for you for 7 years if I could marry your daughter Rachel. And Laban agreed. And then it came time for the wedding, and when Jacob went into the tent to be with his new wife, he was intoxicated. And he didn't realize that it wasn't Rachel. It was Rachel's sister, Leah. And, of course, Jacob had been tricked by his uncle, and his uncle said, well, the tradition is that we always give the older daughter first. It's not right for the younger daughter to get married first. And so it's kind of like making up the rules as you go along. But the fact of the matter is that Jacob agreed to work for Laban. And as a result of that, Laban became wealthy because of the work of Jacob. You see, I accredit this to the covenant. And a lot of times nowadays, you hear in the church, well, that's Old Testament things. This whole thing about giving and tithing and the blessings of God. That's Old Testament, and it's not required in the New Testament. And, of course, you can take that stance, and you can miss out on a lot of blessings. Because God blessed Jacob supernaturally. And he became a man who was very wealthy because of his covenant with God. So I bring this to you today as an admonition, because a lot of times when I talk to people, I hear about their struggles in life and how that it's just so difficult to make ends meet in today's economy. And how hard it is to try to make a living. You got the wife and you got the husband. They're both working, and it just seems like there's just no time for anything else. And it's just always a struggle. And then I read about how that God talks about in the book of Malachi. He says, prove me, and see if I will not open the windows of heaven and pour out a blessing to you, if you're faithful to give to God his portion. But then he said also this, if you choose not to follow that good sound advice, he says, I will make it to where you are literally just pouring your money out and it's not accomplishing anything. He says, I'll blow on it and it'll just disappear. And so if that's your experience, and it seems like that your money is just disappearing, I might challenge you to do as God has said. Prove him. This is Pastor Jack King with the gospel on the radio broadcast.